How do adults now recognize that they're still being directed by these traumas that they might call a small t trauma? Like it's not bad enough to worry about. It's like everybody had divorced parents. It's like, and so I should be over that by now. And we judge ourselves for the small t trauma. I'll just throw this out. I'm going to stop using the term small t trauma because I was lucky enough to be at a retreat a couple of weeks ago in Costa Rica with Bessel van der Kolk was the main attraction, and I got to talk to him about that. And I was asking him about the effects of small t trauma on our sense of enoughness, and he very quickly said, "Oh, it doesn't exist because it's not small. Not having someone to feel like they love you, or someone that you feel wants to be heard, you want to be heard by, or wants to listen to you, that's not a small thing." So it's not about that, and yet it's maybe even more insidious because we dismiss it and we don't ever get to do the work and just let it continues to direct our behavior and decisions and lives.
And then we have, and this is like more related to what you were saying, Mike, of that we have things that seem minute that are really our big traumas. They seem innocuous, and yet they have a very big impact on us because we're vulnerable and to it for some reason. And usually it has to do with our own fears. So that there's the story of a client, and some of you may have heard me share this before, it's also in the book, of a client who came in because she was wanting to get married, and she had had trouble connecting with men. She hadn't dated much. She didn't feel attractive. And so when she had her RIM session and we pulled the curtain back on what was the issue, she found herself standing in the fifth grade cafeteria line. And as she's standing in the cafeteria line, she goes, I don't know why I'm here. I don't remember anything. And I said, well, just be there. Let's see what happens. So she's standing there, and all of a sudden, a boy in her fifth grade walks up to her and says, you're ugly. Well, we've been fifth grade girls and we've been fifth grade boys. This is not like a really unusual experience. However, she was very vulnerable about how she looked. She was very concerned about her looks. And in that moment, her worst fear was confirmed, that she was unattractive. And she was holding back the tears. They were running down her back of her throat. She wanted to crawl under the table. And that anchored, but it was forgotten. That's what happens with trauma. So now she's got this traumatic wound, but it now has been forgotten, so it's underground, which means it's gone beneath consciousness into the body. So it's saved as body memory. So in this RIM session, as that showed up, this boy was here, and so I gave her permission, go ahead and talk to him. And she brought in a safety figure to be with her. Her mother showed up, and she said to him, why did you say that? That really hurt my feelings. And when she looked out of his eyes to sense what he felt and what he wanted to say, he said, that's because I like you. Now, having been a parent for a fifth grade boy and girl at one time or another, this is very common for the boys that age to try and impress another by, being jabbing them. And but in that moment, her whole body memory of being unattractive regenerated. And within a few months, she met somebody she liked. And a year later, they got married, have two kids now. And I would say that never would have been uncovered. So she would have been working at all this surface level. So that what we're talking about with trauma is it goes underground. And that's what makes it really challenging, and what makes it harder to treat, has made it historically. REM is all about being able to go underground. So it's very effective with trauma.